Well. They finally done it, y'all. They have turned Monday Night Raw into the late 2000s and 2010 SmackDown. Now, I'm going to get into that later, what I mean by that. But welcome all to this Monday Night Raw review. Hey! And key point, what I mean by that is that Raw is starting to become what SmackDown was in the late 2000s and the 2010s, where basically it was unwatchable. You didn't really even, it was so unwatchable, and you didn't need to watch SmackDown to know what was going on. You wouldn't miss anything. And watching this Monday Night Raw, having not seen SmackDown, or did a review for one of the SmackDowns while I was away, you realize, that's when you start to realize that it's actually a little bit worse because they both are like that, but more so Raw than anything. They started off with a Bianca Belair promo, and she basically came out to tell us and the audience that due to another injury, this has just been one big, for AEW, for any promotion, it's just been injuries abound. Now we got another injury, this time for Rhea Ripley, who, I don't know if it's because of COVID or if she got a legit injury, but it was announced by Bianca Belair that the match at Money in the Bank would not be taking place because she would not be medically cleared in time. So, and due to that, we will have a fatal five-way to determine Bianca Belair's replacement challenger at Money in the Bank, and those five women would be Asuka, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, and Carmella. So ironically, so that each woman, while Bianca was talking, started to come out and interrupt her in typical fashion. They interrupt each other one after another, just basically talking about why they're gonna win. And they got to arguing. I think that it was a fun little exchange with Carmella and Alexa, because Carmella basically contradicted herself, and Alexa called her out on it, saying that it's funny how she's picking on Liv about riding somebody's coattails, where basically she did the same, and that she mentioned a certain chin man that helped Carmella win the Money in the Bank match. So therefore, Bianca basically ended the arguments and said that that there was enough talk, people want to see action, and since all five women was out in the ring already, obviously our first match of the night, our opening match, was the Fatal Five-Way, which was pretty good. It was some nice exchange, some nice back and forth. Everything was cool about this match. It was an enjoyable match. I won't say it wasn't. It was. The match was enjoyable. It was a good match. I would say maybe the best match of the night. Maybe. With that being said, though, Asuka. The winner ended up being the odd person, but the most predictable person, Carmella, because Carmella was the only one who didn't have an already pre-existing match or a match already at Money in the Bank, with Liv Morgan and Alexa already qualifying for the Money in the Bank match. Becky Lynch versus Asuka Becky Lynch and Asuka still had to happen, for their qualifying match. So Carmella was the only person who didn't have anything. So therefore, they made her the winner. Afterwards, Becky Lynch will be compared to Adam Pearce, which Adam Pearce was set up later for. I can't talk. Was set up later on that night for Becky versus Asuka to qualify for the Money in the Bank qualifying match, since Becky was complaining about her opportunities. We did get a surprising Vince McMahon promo again. This time, unlike he did on Friday Night SmackDown, he just came out and talked about basically nothing and promoted John Cena, who will be on the show next week, which they've been doing multiple times already on the show. So he basically talked about nothing and and promoted John Cena. So then we got the next match, which is Riddle versus Ole Miss. And for the money, it was another Money in the Bank qualifying match. And Riddle cut a promo saying how, you know, things didn't work out for him on SmackDown, and that he's gonna do the impossible to beat Ole Miss to qualify and then go on to Money in the Bank to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and also hit Seth Rollins with a ladder for what he did to Cody Rhodes. The match would come, Ole Miss would come out, and MVP would cut a promo saying that, talking about him being high or whatever, smoking with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa, but that he was going to be beaten by Ole Miss. Then the match got in the way. It was a good match. Riddle got more offers than I thought he would get in, but in the end, Ole Miss won. Seth Rollins would come out doing, while Riddle was still in the ring, beat him up and throw him out the ring, and then cut a promo on himself about basically winning the Money in the Bank ladder match, and that he doesn't share the ring with losers, and he made fun of Riddle for losing Randy, losing to Roman, and then losing here to Ole Miss. But yeah, and then he told Riddle that it wouldn't even matter if he even won, because nobody in the Money in the Bank so far in the Money in the Bank so far in the Money in the Bank match for the men's could beat Roman but himself. Riddle would try to get some payback, but he would get beat once more due to his injuries suffered from Roman Reigns by Seth Rollins. Just not looking good for Ole Miss. We would then get a Austin Theory promo where he basically came out, did another pose down, and basically ran down Bobby Lashley and John Cena. Only for Bobby Lashley to come out and pay him back like he did last week by spraying oil in his face, and then telling him that he won the United States Championship, which Austin Theory revealed in the backstage promo that he went to talk to Adam Pearce, that Bobby Lashley would have a gauntlet match to determine if he could win. He would Austin Theory would put the United States Championship on the line at Money in the Bank. So we got the next match, which is Jey Uso versus Angelo Dawkins, which was a fun match in itself, and Angelo Dawkins got the win here. It was, basically the reversal from last week with Jimmy got the win over Montez. Angelo Dawkins this week got the win over Jey Uso. We would get the Elias concert promo where basically we had a funny edited video of them two backstage of Elias and Ezekiel talking to each other. Elias was getting ready to do the concert, but be interrupted by Kevin Owens, who was basically called Elias a liar, saying that Ezekiel and Elias are the same person, and then Ezekiel will come on the big screen trying to prove that they two different people, that they are brothers. But Kevin Owens wasn't having it. I think Elias was trying to play a song for Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens would basically just tell him no, cut the black. Then he grabbed he tried to get them to cut the commercial. Then he grabbed the guitar and threw it out the way, only for Elias to jump knee him and then hit him over the back with the guitar. And then we would get a promo backstage with Kevin Owens to finish this promo, I should say. We would get Kevin Owens backstage saying that he doesn't care if it's Ezekiel, Elias, or Elrod. They say Ezekiel, Elias, even younger brother Elrod. He want them in the match. He want one of them in the match next week, and only to have Ezekiel show up in front of him and say, "We hear, like I heard your challenge. challenge accepted. And Elias basically driving Kevin Owens even further and saying, because he just left Elias in the ring only to run into Ezekiel backstage. Basically trickery at its finest. That's Raw. That's wrestling for you, right? The next match will be the Gauntlet Match, where Bobby Lashley will go up against first Chad Gable of the Alpha Academy. He will win that match via disqualification, and then he'll go up against Otis, which also he won via disqualification. And then Austin Theory revealed that he was the third opponent to try to pick the bones after the beating he suffered from both the double team beating he suffered from both Chad Gable and Otis, only for him to roll up pin Austin Theory and got the victory here. So it's official. It's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory at Money in the Bank. Which brings a question too, like, what's going on? Because the rumor was he was supposed to be facing, that he might have been, it was rumored that he was facing John Cena at Money in the Bank for the United States Championship, but I guess that's not going to happen unless he's just going to face John Cena at a random point on that Raw episode of Raw next week. We got the Miz TV promo with AJ Styles. Basically, AJ Brown basically the Miz, I should say, brought AJ down to not only promote his new episode of The Miz and Mrs., but to run down AJ and reveal to AJ the reason why he brought him out here is to show Nebraska what failure looks like. This would cause more confrontation, which AJ Styles would just basically hit the Miz with the mic, and AJ would get attacked from behind by Ciampa, which Ciampa just been aimlessly just attacking people for no reason. But this would lead into the next match, which was AJ Styles versus Ciampa, with AJ Styles getting the victory here. Now, it was a good match in itself. It was a good AJ Styles match, and AJ Styles got the victory to bounce back from his recent setbacks. They did talk about on Miz TV too, the whole thing with Finn going to Judgment Day. I don't know what they're doing with Ciampa here. Like, since he became on the main roster, he's just been randomly attacking people. And he was one of the rumored members to join in Judgment Day, which I would have rather had them do than have him just randomly attacking people. I wish they would have actually put him in Judgment Day. They still could, but I'm just saying I wish they would have done it initially, because he just aimlessly. And we about to get to the last match. Yeah. So last match, the main event, which was Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Winner goes to the women's Money in the Bank match. And this was a good main event. This was a good way to end it. This might have been the only two good matches on the card. Yeah, the first match and the last match was probably the best. If you want to say, what was the best match a little bit, man? I would say the two best matches was the first match and this match. And this match was a good match between the two. And but the problem is, we have seen it so many times. And as Wrestle Talk even pointed out, we've seen it twice in one night. How many times do we got to see? It brings, Asuka got the victory here, and she now is in the women's Money in the Bank qualifying match, which was the right thing to do, because it furthers Becky Lynch's character. This is what we need for Roman. Roman needs to be now the man's version of Becky Lynch. We need to see him without the titles, so we can see a newer development to his character. Which brings me to why I said earlier that Raw is becoming the reverse version of the late 2000s and 2010s SmackDown, is because back then SmackDown was just like the B show. It was like the show that nobody really cared about, that you didn't even have to watch. And at one point it became like that, because at one point I had stopped watching SmackDown. I did. At one point in the 2010s, I stopped watching SmackDown and only watched Raw because it became so lackluster that you didn't need to. Hell, I remember when they announced the return of the brand split and when SmackDown became watchable again, it was on Monday Night Raw when I found it out. I didn't even watch SmackDown to find that out. I watched Monday Night Raw. And now Monday Night Raw, being a 3-hour show with nothing, is becoming the B show to SmackDown. And that's because there's no main champion on Raw. Roman Reigns holds both titles, and he's not even scheduled to be there. He's scheduled. We're in the summer, and he's only scheduled to be there one time, and that's the Madison Square Garden one before SummerSlam. And who knows how many times he's going to be on SmackDown. And I would like to add that this is actually just a little bit worse than the late 2000s, 2010s version, because Roman has both titles, the Usos has both titles. There's no direction for anybody on Raw except for the women's. Like literally, the women's division is the only direction. Is the only good thing about Raw to me, because they have a main title, they have a direction for them. Everybody else is just, all the men are just aimlessly competing for nothing. Nobody's competing for the Raw title. Nobody's doing anything. It's all about trying to get after Roman Reigns. And that doesn't make for a good story. No matter how many times you show Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, it doesn't matter if they're not on the show. If both of them not on the show, why do I care? Because we know Brock Lesnar probably going to be on SmackDown, but Roman probably won't be there. But I digress. But like I said, that's why I said that Raw is becoming the new SmackDown of the 2010s and the late 2000s, because now Raw is like becoming this show that's pretty much unwatchable. Like, I'm dangerously close. Now, I mean dangerously close to not watching Monday Night Raw anymore, because there's no point. There's really no point. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode of Monday Night Raw. I am giving this episode of Monday Night Raw a 6 out of 10 because it just wasn't that good. I mean, I would say the first match, the best things to me was the first match, the last match, and the whole alliance thing. It actually made me laugh because of Kevin Owens. So yeah, that was like the 3 best things. And then everything else was either okay or just not. I didn't really care about. But yeah, 6 out of 10, big ups. But you let me know what you thought. And if you enjoyed this video, then you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And you enjoyed this video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, hit that thanks button, and hit that join button if you want to see my full reaction to all your favorite shows. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go anywhere. I got more videos coming your way. Peace out.